Welcome back to the Tom and Wayne Show. Tom Hill, commercial real estate practitioner. Wayne D'Amico, CCIM, guitar player as well. We're busy commercial real estate practitioners, as I told you, and we're going to talk about our week. You might learn something in business, marketing.
And maybe we'll learn something.
I hope. So, Wayne, you were over in Waterbury. You called me last minute.
Anytime I'm in town, Tom, I call you, and same, I expect you to call me. You don't come to Essex that often.
Well, now and then. I get the phone call on Saturday. Hey, can you come over? I said, sure.
Well, I was in town. I was actually excited. I had a big project I was working on. For the last couple of weeks, I was working with a Dunkin' Donut franchise owner over there on determining whether their tax assessment, which determines their taxes, were fair. And actually, it was a very interesting project. You know, in Waterbury, you guys have revalued, what, 2007, I think. So it's not about what is it worth today. So it's not an automatic that because things are bad in the marketplace or the numbers are down, that the assessment is wrong.
And all these commercial owners think they're paying way too much in taxes.
Well, and they are.
Uh-huh.
I mean, do I say too much? Too much that it can tank you. I mean, if you're, I'm doing another project actually with another Dunkin' Donut guy, and we're building new buildings, and the assessments coming in on these properties are $5, $6, $7 a square foot, Tom. These buildings rent for $20.
Yep.
Well, it's unbelievable, the tax burden. So they gave me a call, and we tried to figure out how to help them. And sure enough, we actually came up with what we think is a valid argument for almost a 30% reduction on 4 of their properties, and that's going to result in over $50,000 a year in savings if we win.
And folks, it was a fun tour. I got Wayne in the car and we drove around to 9 or 10 of these coffee assets.
Yeah, we had to stop to the bathroom after drinking all the coffee.
And so we got back to one of the ones he wanted to work on, and he said to me, hey, wasn't there supposed to be a bank pad out here somewhere? I said, yeah, it's over there, but I'm not sure exactly what. Wayne says, well, let me pull out my little PC over there. What's that, an Apple?
Oh, yeah, my
Labradoodle or something?
Yeah, no, these days, Tom, you know, well, unlike yourself, you know, everybody's tied into the internet. That's
Daytimer.
But no, in all seriousness, no, there's some really great software these days, and so pretty much we're mobile. We can be out on site, and actually, it took no time because the computer actually determined where we were by GPS, and we were able to see who had the listings in the marketplace, and one of 4 properties in that neighborhood, bingo, right there, and I was able to validate what you were saying. Gee, I think Dave or somebody
He pulled up the site plan and showed us where the bank could go. That was real cool.
I also had that. That's
that
right.
was real
That's
cool.
right.
You're a big dude in technology. You and I recently met up in New York City at the Bowlmore Lanes, but we didn't go bowling. We went to, I went to really see Wayne as one of the speakers for social media.
Yes, the CCIM chapter in New York City, which, you know, we were both a part of getting going actually a couple of years ago. We were at the Bowlmore, which actually, let's say something about it. It's an impressive facility.
Sure is.
The Bowlmore in Times Square is a $23 million multi-tiered, multi-lane, multi-level
nightclub
bowling alley. It's unbelievable. You walk around one corner, there's a palm tree. Walk around another corner, you know, there's some steel theme. There's retro zebra stuff. I think you were hanging around the zebra room,
Hey,
weren't
the
you?
food was delicious and the service was great. But back to the topic, Wayne.
Sorry, I digress.
Yes.
But, you know, we had a technology program. So Henry Kirk was there from the new Blink CC company where they make iPad and iPhone apps, and they were sharing with us some of these things like we used the other day.
I have an app. I have an iPhone finally.
You have an
I just
app?
got it.
You do?
Thank you, Senator Rob Kane.
Well, he gave you one?
No, I had to pay for it, but I'm glad to get it. So
Okay.
Henry and the panel for social media.
That's
Sorry,
right.
folks.
And Sarah Needleman, actually, who's the small business assistant editor for the Wall Street Journal, was there. She spoke about social media, and I was talking about the cloud computing and how in today's world we're able to more effectively share files, keep things in the wireless internet environment so that, you know, the old clunk around, carry your computer everywhere is no longer an issue.
I got to say, folks, his seminar was wicked. Wayne is a great speaker. If you want to have somebody come and talk about social media or technology, he's got a lot of experience in teaching the site to do business, which is a CCIM product. But Wayne, you blew me away on all this cloud computing and the way and other file sharing things. And I'm not good at that, but my wife is learning to be better at it. And you did a heck of a job taking a really complicated subject and breaking it down, and the uses in our commercial real estate business and how to make money with it, which was really the trick for me.
That's right. And if I'm smart, I'll take my own advice. Maybe we'll make some money with it.
Very nice. All right, let's talk about Sarah Needleman. She was from the Wall Street Journal. You had somebody else in that panel too, didn't you?
Well, there's Henry.
Yeah, she didn't hang around. That's why I lost track of her.
No, but it was nice because she actually called me the couple of days later too, and she was doing a story on whether small business owners have a real opportunity to kind of reduce their overhead since the market has changed and things seem to be depressed. You know, can you renegotiate your lease
Good
when
topic.
things get soft? I mean, have you been involved with that kind
I
of thing?
have. I've gone to some seminars on renegotiating leases, but what I see in my market over in Waterbury, Connecticut, the landlords, you go to them and say, hey, I want to reduce this guy's lease, they throw you out of the office. But I think in some of the corporate world, bigger markets, better markets than my third-tier city, I think lease reductions are good for the brokers, good for the tenants, because what good is it for the landlord if they can't make you rent?
Well, but it actually is, Tom, and this is where it goes cross-county, because and that was one of the points I made, is that the real opportunity is when there's a window, and you know this, if you're close to the end of the lease, if you're going to be within, say, a year, 6 months, a year and a half from when you're going to be making a decision, am I going to stay in this building or am I going to leave? A landlord's in a much better position in this down economy to renegotiate maybe the last year in the lease, but have a new 5-year commitment from that tenant. That changes the whole game. It's all about the length and the credit of your tenants. So if you have a good tenant, if you are a good tenant, then the opportunity does exist to at least open the dialogue. I think the point of the article in the Wall Street Journal was, it doesn't hurt to ask.
And how? And I think you said you got on a part of Facebook that was connected to Wall Street Journal. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, that was at the back end of my cloud computing. I couldn't help but talk about social media. I've been ramping up my social media activity these days, and one of the things I've been doing is kind of peppering my Facebook and Twitter accounts with some things I'm doing on a daily basis. I don't bore people with what time I took my lunch break, but I'll share with them an experience or a feeling I had. And I recently had the passing of a good client of mine who was very prominent. And so, you know, I took the opportunity to kind of share how I was saddened by the loss of this person. And but he was written up in the Wall Street Journal in his obituary because he was that much of a pioneer in his industry, Charlie Command, who was from Connecticut here. And you know, you start to realize that it's a sincere expression, but you're now expressing yourself to these people that are your friends.
It's a new media.
And you start to realize that it's not just for me at home, it's not just for business. It's about sharing your experiences with more people. The more people know what you do, the more likelihood that they will share with you. You're building relationships, and relationships is what it's all about.
Yeah, and I've been having a relationship with Wayne a long, long time. Enjoy his friendship. We always learn when we drive places together. Talking about the social media, though, I'm an old dog, and I had a premier residential mansion broker from Washington, Connecticut, Seymour Cerno, passed away last year, and I read the newspaper, and Litchfield County Times, a fellow wrote a nice story about Seymour and how he was a good broker and fun to be with and really helpful to the community. So instead of going on Facebook, I wrote a letter to the editor.
You did?
Yeah, the old time. But people got a kick out of it. I got a chance to feel better writing about my friend Seymour. Now, you said a minute, you don't Twitter your lunches, but when we were with New York CCIM chapter down at the Bowlemore Lanes, was that lunch outrageous?
Well, you know, I was on the program, Tom, so I think you ate my lunch that day.
Oh, my God.
But no, I'm right. They came out with all these different, yeah, it was amazing.
It's unbelievable.
There was a pesto mozzarella tomato thing. There was some dumplings. It was quite a great
family style.
Yeah.
Hit after hit after hit, and then I know, looking at you, Wayne, you saw the dessert table.
I thought this wasn't catching down below the tie. Yeah.
Good time. All right, so we're getting back to not using Twitter, not about lunch, but we had to throw that back in. We went to the New York CCIM chapter, had a ball. I learned stuff on all these iPad apps that they're also for your phone, and our friend Henry Kirk showed about 19 different ways that brokers that are running around doing showings could really be on the go, or what do you call it, being mobile?
Yeah.
And what about Sarah Needleman? She had a good little talk as well from the Wall Street Journal. We were honored to have her.
Yeah, it was just a great program. You know, you're in the middle of the biggest city in the world with the biggest resources, and it's nice to be a part of a group that's really just capitalizing on where they are and helping people in our industry.
All right, so if you're interested in that one, that's ccimny.org, if I'm not mistaken, New York CCIM chapter. Google it. Connecticut CCIM chapter, CCIMCT. Wayne is a past president of that. We participate in that, and fun to meet other brokers and to increase our business. Also, I was down to IREBA in New York Athletic Club. SIOR chapter was having their national president in, Dave Zimmer. SIOR, Society of Office and Industrial Realtors, has gone international now and looking to service corporate and industrial clients all over the world. And since the national president was coming into the Industrial and Office Real Estate Brokers Association of Metropolitan New York, which I was a
That's a
previous.
mouthful, Tom.
Yes, it is. I was a previous member. The New York CCIM chapter couldn't send anybody, and they called me right from the center of Waterbury, Connecticut, to appear at the New York Athletic Club
Really?
to speak on SIOR.
Now, when the police came to escort you out, I thought that had something to do with you weren't supposed to be there.
Yes. I've been thrown out of Toys R Us, I think.
Well, you know, it's funny thing you say about Dave Zimmer, but I was on a program with him up in upstate New York last year where he was the president-elect.
Oh, at the casino.
Yes, up at the Verona Turning Stone Casinos. Yes. And it was funny because I was asked, I'm active with the CCIM Institute, you know, and I was just helping. I was a presidential liaison to the current president, Richard Juge, and nobody wanted to go to upstate New York. No, they couldn't make it to upstate New York. But so I got up there as a representative of the Institute.
Well, that's because you're going to be national president in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
At that time I wasn't, but
Congratulations.
since then, yes, we have been elected.
Our Connecticut guy is going to be president of the National CCM organization, and you guys are international now too, aren't you? Teaching
absolutely.
courses in China and...
We have over 1,400 international designees now.
That's CCIM.com if you want to check that one out. I had one other thing I wanted to ask you about, Wayne. For national president...
Did you take your meds today?
No, but I had a couple cups of coffee. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm TomHill.com. This is Wayne D'Amico, property...